hiring and firing. What do HR managers need to know about changes in hiring and firing rules? So we have are you all familiar with the Standing Orders Act? Say yes if you all are familiar. Okay, now what we will do is we will go through one of these codes so that you all also get comfortable. Okay, Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act was applicable to factories and in some cases even to service sector industries, which had service sector companies which had 50 or more people or 100 or more people depending on the state they were in. Okay, now what has the Industrial Relations Code done? It has created a threshold of 300 or more. Before that, you don't need to comply with this. Do you know what is a standing order? I'll give you a very simple explanation of what a standing order is. Okay, it is a contract between the company and you, which is certified by the government. The labor commissioner certifies it. Okay, that means that it is no longer a issue of private negotiation. If you make any change in the contract, you have to go back to the labor commissioner to get it certified. By the way, standing orders can run into 50, 60 pages, and drafting standing orders is a complex task. Okay. Now, what has been said under the Industrial Relations Code is that unless you have at least 300 people, you don't have to worry about it. So, who will take a guess on is this beneficial for employers or employees? Say employer if it's beneficial for employers. Say employees if it's beneficial for employees. It is not beneficial for employees. It is only beneficial for employers. Yes, that's correct. Because if you're a small business and until 300 people means you can have a business of a decent size before you reach 300 people. Tab tak, whether you are in service sector or you are in manufacturing sector, no headache of standing order. Do you know that IT industry also, companies in BPO and IT industry have standing orders? In Karnataka, there's an exemption if you follow 3-4 conditions, but in many other states, that exemption doesn't exist. So IT companies have started making their own standing orders. Okay, but the problem is that there is so much regulation that you have very narrow wiggle room. But imagine that is thrown off and you are free to negotiate a regular employment contract. Why is it 300, Sanjeev? The government took a call. They said that, okay, it was 100 under our earlier law. In some states, it was 50. Okay. So they said, let's increase it. Now it is their call, right? They could make it 1,000. But if they make it 1,000, then most companies won't have to even deal with it. Okay. So they have to choose that where to keep it, how to keep the balance, right? So they have allowed for smaller companies to be able to do this. You all want me to reduce the font size? Okay. I was trying to have the PPT effect because the PPT is still being made. Okay, let me try. Is this fine? Don't read off everything. Stay with me, okay? In a smaller business, so you understood, in a smaller business, the employer and employee are free to negotiate. But now, in a smaller business, the employer and employee are free to negotiate terms of the contract. And now up to 300 people, you can do that. Rules for, now one more thing is there. The standing orders also say that when you are conducting disciplinary inquiry, you have to pay something called subsistence allowance to the person against whom you are conducting that inquiry. Disciplinary inquiry will happen for what? Can anybody tell me when a disciplinary inquiry is required? Aditya, Standing Orders Act will be repealed. Okay, when this is notified, the Industrial Relations Code will repeal 4 laws: Industrial Disputes Act, Trade Unions Act, and Standing Orders Act. 3 laws. Okay. I'll show you, Tapish, how to find out whether the limit is state-wise or not. In this, it is not state-wise. It is state-wise in Standing Orders Act, but after the code, it will not remain state-wise. Correct, Hari. When there is a misconduct, can I ask you some questions? Is non-performance a misconduct? Is falling sick a misconduct? No, right? Very good. Okay. So only in case of misconduct, if you are pending the inquiry, like what police does. In police, when it is pending the inquiry, you can be arrested and put in jail, right? Here what happens is, pending inquiry, there can be suspension for the workman at that time, but workman is dependent on wages. There's a minimum wage law also, right? So, but you can pay lesser than that. Half of the wages can be paid, okay, during the subsistence allowance period. Now, if you have a 300 ka limit, you don't have only standing orders being applicable, so subsistence allowance question goes away. Okay. Pramod, we will see it. Okay, we will see in the standing order in the industrial relations code. I'll show you how to find out. Okay, see what happens is there are two ways the government can change it. In some cases, the law says government can change this limit, or it says there's no limit. The government will prescribe the limit. In some cases, the law says government can change any or all of the limits that are there, the thresholds in this law. Okay, and more laws nowadays are giving that flexibility to the government. They create a framework, but they give a lot of flexibility to the government. Okay, so you all are understood. This is pro-employer. One thing that doesn't change still is this part. Natural justice is still required to be observed. Your disciplinary process cannot be conducted without natural justice, though you don't have to pay the exact subsistence allowance written by the government, okay, written under the law. Then how does retrenchment change? What is retrenchment? Anytime you are having to let go of employees, okay, streamlining, downsizing, retrenchment provisions get triggered. Earlier, government permit. So yeah, if you validly conduct disciplinary proceedings, it's not retrenchment. Okay, there are certain technical terms which don't qualify within retrenchment. Do you know which ones? So dismissal, when it is there, it is not retrenchment, but dismissal can happen only from disciplinary hearings. Then there's a concept of discharge. Okay, if the person is medically unable to perform work, non-performance, all of that, you will have a discharge. It doesn't have something called a character stigma. It's non-stigmatic. Okay, but retrenchment here would mean that you are having to lay off the person, and it's not for non-performance, it's not for disciplinary misconduct, but because you are having to, it's not the person's any fault of that person. Okay, so it's not discharge. Also, discharge means relieving from work for medical reasons, whatever. Okay, it's not that. So you have to pay two things. Either you have to pay retrenchment compensation, but if you have more than 100 employees, then you needed permission of the central government to lay off so many people. Correct? Retirement is also not included in retrenchment. Very good. Now this limit also is enhanced to 300 employees under the Industrial Relations Code. The procedure for retrenchment stays the same.